Today, I'm going to go over 5 tips with you that'll help you improve in Fortnite Zero Builds. And the first one being running and sliding. So there's 2 ways to get from point A to point B in Fortnite. One is where you can just run from point A to point B, and the other is running and sliding from point A to point B. Now I'm going to show you what it's like when you run from point A to point B and don't stop. So here we go. We're running, and as you can see, the stamina bar is out by the time we get here. Now, if I run and slide, not only am I preserving more stamina, but I'm also covering ground a lot quicker. And as you can see, when I get to my point B, I still have half of stamina bar left. And if you're running from point A to point B and you get to point B and there's an enemy there, trust me, you're gonna need some stamina to be able to outmaneuver them and get the upper hand, especially if they're more skilled than you are. I've seen players that aren't as skilled that get the upper hand just because they have more stamina available than the other guy. So try to get into the habit of always running and sliding from now on, because it's definitely one of the differences that'll make the difference. One of the biggest things that newbies especially ignore when playing Fortnite is rotating and staying ahead of the storm and playing it safe in zone. And the best way to do that is to always go for the forecast towers. So when you're playing the game, you'll see these little satellites pop up on your map. And when you go to the map and knock out the squads that are carrying these forecast tower cards, you can pick them up. And when you pick them up, you got to go to the forecast tower and secure the forecast. And when you do that, you'll be able to see where the next storm circle is going to be. So as you can see, there's the white line, which shows you how far the storm is closing in. But when you secure the forecast, you'll be able to see where the next storm circle is going to be as well, which is this white line that is fading in and out. Making sure to rotate and staying within zone is one of the biggest differences that can make the difference. So if you know where the next circle is going to be, you can just rotate to that spot earlier and get the upper hand on the people in the match that don't know where the next storm is going to be closing in on. And that way you can already position yourself in a strategic location where you can see your enemies coming from a mile away. Make sure you're always utilizing that forecast tower and securing the forecast card as well. Another great tip to keep in mind is to always try and maintain the high ground. You have an opponent here that you're level with, face to face. Now, if you're up against this person, there's a 50-50 chance you'll survive depending on how good you are. But if you have the high ground, it makes it harder for the opponent to shoot at you, and it's easier for you to shoot at your opponent. So always make sure that you have the high ground in any situation that you're in. The next thing you want is to try and always maintain some cover between you and your opponent. So right now, if I'm in front of my opponent and there's nothing to help cover, he can shoot at me. If there's nothing to cover between me and my opponent, I'm a pretty easy shot. In Zero Build, even if you don't have bunks or any kind of shield to help cover, you can always try and use the obstacles around you. So in this case, we have a tree. As long as I get behind this tree, I have some cover between me and my opponent. It makes it harder for them to hit me. And last but not least, make sure to have some kind of movement on you. Having movement can be a huge game changer, especially when you're in Zero Build. So for example, in this season, we have the Typhoon Blades. Now, you can use either Typhoon Blades, the Omni Mask, or the Shockwaves as well. Pretty much anything that is going to be the movement for that season is what you're going to want to carry. And you're always going to want to leave at least one slot open for movement. See, when I have movement, it's a lot harder for my opponents to shoot me. So whatever the movement of the season is, make sure to practice with it and get the hang of it, because it can be the make or break in a 1v1 or even when you're facing off against multiple enemies in zero builds. So the next time you're playing Fortnite, try and utilize these 5 tips to help you get better. And as always, feel free to subscribe and like this video to help push us out to more people that are just starting out on their Fortnite journey. I have some other great videos that you can check out to help you if you're playing on PC or if you just want to overall improve your gameplay when it comes to playing Fortnite Zero Builds. Thank you so much.